Before we begin, please imagine the bell notification is on and you're subscribed to Huna Stories. The call came at 3:17 a.m. Not from my wife, from the hospital. A nurse asked my name twice like she wasn't sure I was real. In the background, I heard groans, familiar voices, voices I'd laughed with, drunk with, trusted. She said, "Sir, your wife and 3 men were admitted together. Severe abdominal pain, fever, disorientation." I stared at the ceiling, counted the cracks. 4 admissions, matching symptoms. I smiled before I understood why. Because I already knew how this night would end. 2 weeks earlier, my wife had snapped. Not yelled, not cried, snapped. Clean and sharp. "If you can't handle me sleeping with your friends," she said, arms folded, eyes daring me to flinch, "then leave. They're real men. Real men." The words didn't hit like knives. Knives are sloppy. These were surgical. I remember noticing how calm I felt, how my heartbeat didn't change, how my hands stayed steady. I asked softly, "Which ones?" She laughed, actually laughed. "All of them," she said. "God, you really are slow." That night, she slept peacefully beside me. I didn't. I watched the ceiling and began to count. Denial is loud. It screams. It begs. What I felt was quiet. The next morning, I made her coffee, kissed her cheek, asked her about her day. Inside, something rearranged itself. I noticed patterns I'd ignored before. Group chats that went silent when I entered the room, dinners that happened without me, the way my friends stopped making eye contact, like guilt had weight. I didn't accuse, I observed. Phones don't lie. People do. I synced backups while she showered, pulled metadata, location pings, late-night movements that overlapped too neatly to be coincidence. Hotels, always the same one, always Thursdays. I watched her get dressed for those nights with practiced indifference, told her to have fun. She thought that meant I was weak. She was wrong. The hardest part wasn't confirming the truth. It was realizing how carefully I'd been chosen as the fool. 3 friends, men I defended, lent money to, called brothers. They weren't reckless. They were organized. They rotated nights, used burner apps, left phones in cars. Professionals. I collected everything, screenshots, receipts, timestamps. I didn't confront them. I invited them over. Barbecue, beer, laughter. I watched them eat food I'd prepared with my own hands. I watched my wife smile like she'd won something. And I planned. The test results came first. Not medical, chemical. My wife had a hobby. Organic supplements, natural blends. Things she trusted blindly. I had switched one ingredient weeks earlier, not poison, just a compound that reacted badly when mixed with alcohol. Individually harmless, together, chaos. I handed her a printed report one evening, said nothing. She skimmed it, scoffed. "You think this scares me?" she asked. I met her eyes. "No," I said. "I think this explains you." She froze, not fear, recognition. They drank heavily that night, celebrating something. I wasn't invited to understand. By morning, they were screaming. By noon, they were admitted. I arrived last, calm, clean, composed. They lay in separate beds, pale and shaking. When the doctor entered, a tired man, honest eyes. "Gentlemen," he said slowly, "this is hard to say, but your diagnosis is acute toxic reaction. Same compound, same exposure window." Their faces turned toward me. My wife tried to speak. Nothing came out. I leaned close, low enough that only she could hear. "As you wish," I whispered. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I placed the folder on the tray table. Evidence, timelines, messages. The doctor left. The room collapsed inward. One of them vomited. Another begged. My wife stared at me like I was a stranger who knew her secrets. "You planned this?" she said. I nodded. "Yes." No anger, just fact. "I never touched them," I added. "You did. I just adjusted the variables." She reached for me. I stepped back. That was the moment she understood. Not that she'd been caught, but that she'd lost. Divorce was quick, public, precise. I made no statements. Let the rumors eat themselves. They recovered physically. They won't recover socially. I moved out. New city, new silence. Sometimes I think about the man I was before, the one who believed loyalty was loud.
I don't miss him. Betrayal doesn't break you, it teaches you where to cut and how.